Like them old Coke commercials. When they was in outer space. Remember that?
You ready?
Good.
Go ahead, start.
Shalom. We have the Isupk coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, at the Commanding General Yahan.
That's right.
And today's topic is, today is National DNA Day. Ain't that something? I didn't even know this hella day even existed before now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Where they're really pushing this whole DNA thing. They're really pushing this something strong. You see what I'm saying? And then also too, you got these these fake Israelite groups also getting on board with the same thing. And they also, pushing in all types of crazy heresies, and trying to push everybody into being vegans. They want the whole world to be a world full of vegans, you see what I'm saying? Or wearing a specific color where everybody's running around with all white, or everybody's running around with all purple on, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, they just pushing all types of stuff that ain't got a damn thing to do with the scripture. Y'all about you out shop right $1,000 going on. Yeah, but a bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures, and they even run around today. Before we go into the whole DNA thing, though, let me hit you to what they're saying. They're running around trying to say that chicken is unclean. You know what I'm saying? And that is the thing that's being pushed. And what they're really trying to do with that, they're trying to use that to push everybody into being vegan. It'll start with that, you see what I'm saying? Right. And then it'll go on to other things, you see what I'm saying? They'll be saying beef is unclean because the beef is raised like this and it feeds on this, and that's unclean also, right? And then here's the thing too, black men, you gotta really put your keenness on right now, because your woman is gonna be the main one pushing this vegan thing towards you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Your woman is gonna hook up, she's gonna listen to some vegan group. I'm cool. She's gonna listen to some little vegan group, you know what I'm saying, that's running around trying to push everybody into being vegetarians, right, vegans and all that. Next thing you know, they're gonna wind up in some type of Jim Jones situation. You see what I'm saying? Like that movie with Jennifer Aniston. Anybody hip to that movie? Where she became part of this cult, you know what I'm saying? And they was running around with white people. They was all white people, but that this stuff was definitely gonna be with our people also. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And she's in the cult and everything, and they all like vegans and all all of this, crazy stuff going on, right? Right. And they ended up in the orgies. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're pushing, though. Really, though, that's what they're really actually doing. That's where all of this is leading to. That's why they're targeting the woman. Right. You see what I'm saying? The women are always, you be married to a sister or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you in the truth. She'll be the one to come up to you and try and push you into some off the land, off the grid, but it's not really about being off the grid. Ain't nothing wrong with being off the grid, right? But what they'll try and push you into is that vegan culture up under some leader that owns a piece of land, right? And let me tell you something, while she's sitting there fighting you on whether you should have only one wife or not, she'll want to be another wife of him. Right. He already got 10 wives. You see what I'm saying? It's funny because she won't have a problem with multiple wives in that day. You see what I'm saying? Right. She won't have a problem with it then. But she be an ISUPK, she'll have a problem with it. Right. You see what I'm saying? She'll probably have a problem with you wanting more than one wife, with you wanting more than one wife, but she wouldn't mind being the 15th wife of some cult leader. You see what I'm saying?
Some Heaven Gates looking bastard.
Right. Some black Jim Jones type dude.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? She wouldn't mind being the wife of him. You see what I'm saying? Being another wife of his. That's why you always got to check your woman at the door every time she come to you with something new that's not UPK. You know what I'm saying? But the brothers, you know, that is in UPK, she coming to you with some stuff that ain't UPK, you put her ass in check right immediately.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Don't sleep on it. Hit it directly. You know what I'm saying? The aggressive action sometimes is the best action.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
So like,
go ahead,
if I would, like, and sometimes, you know, you can nip all that in the bud if you just do what Captain Kapar say off top. You know what I'm saying? Just come in with her attitude. Good morning, babe. You know what I'm saying? What the hell's for dinner?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let her know this ain't no plaything. You know what I'm saying? She do not run nothing. You know what I'm saying? So lucky if I would, and pardon my French, but there's an old saying, dick run my household, not pussy. So lucky my language.
But even with that, even when a brother got his house in subjection, you know what I'm saying? You know, she might come to you softly.
Damn right.
Just like with Jezebel, she didn't come at Ahab hardcore. You see what I'm saying? Trying to punk him and all of that.
Right.
Even when he was at his weak state, she didn't come at him like that.
Damn right.
Because he's laid on the, you know, he's laid on the bed on the pillow. He all in his feelings and everything because he can't have this man's plot of land. And she said, why is the king so gaunt today?
Yeah,
why is he so sad?
Yeah, why is he so sad?
She ain't coming like, you punk ass nigga. You know, she ain't coming at him nothing like that.
And also with the Sons of Solomon, you know, she the heathen wife, she came, you know, teary-eyed. Why do you hate me so much? Why don't you love me? You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to be on the watch out for that deceitfulness in these women.
Right, because she's always the first one to you know what I'm saying? She's the one to bite the fruit.
Right.
She done bit off the fruit of that fake Israelite group that's sitting there saying, you know, trying to push everybody into being vegans and growing all types of crazy dreadlocks. You see what I'm saying? And run around half naked like that one group. Now they run around naked. That one group, I can't think of what the hell they name is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They run around naked. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that group right there, you know what I'm saying? That's what she's trying to push you into, something like that. Go ahead.
Like if I would, you got one ass Israelite group running around naked. You got another fake ass Israelite group getting general butt naked.
Right, yeah. Getting general butt naked. They want their butt naked man to have some real high stature, you know what I'm saying? And be some type of world leader, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They after that, you know. They want butt naked, general butt naked. They got an army behind them, you know what I'm saying?
And
those cannibals.
And this exactly, that's what I was just about to get on.
Right.
This heathen eating people.
Right.
And they want to teach you about some dietary laws.
That's what I'm saying.
What's going on?
So obviously he can feed that his people to them like grapes.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
They're wearing the purple already.
Right.
He can feed them like clusters of grapes. Go ahead, General Button. You can eat all of these, you know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna cut a deal with them. He can molest so many boys, then General Buck Nuggets can eat so many of the purple members. He can eat some of them. You see what I'm saying? He can make a feast out of them, make a good barbecue out of them. They're up there grilling and everything. They think they eating ribs. You know, oh, this is just like America. Yeah, I bet it is. Right. You eating, you know what I'm saying, with your own.
Damn right.
Go ahead. Let's go to a scripture right quick.
I'm kind of getting into the
Let's go. No, what we're going to go into is Ezekiel 44. We're going to see what is the job of a priest. Because you got, and also too, you got people that are teaching that chicken is unclean. Like I was just saying. They sitting there talking about chicken is unclean. And I see that this is a big, and some of these people have big followings. That's why I'm, you know, coming at this. You see what I'm saying? Because they have big followings, right? And I'm ready to set up a battle with them at any time concerning this issue or whatever issue. You see what I'm saying? But they're pushing this, and people are listening to it. You see what I'm saying? It's becoming a big thing now. But those, let me let you in on something. Those people ain't the priests.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? We're going to see what is the job of a priest. What does a priest do?
Right, sir.
Give me some of that. Ezekiel, go ahead, Warrior. I want to see what you got to say. Go ahead.
A priest's job is to tell the people the difference between holy and unholy and clean and unclean.
Damn right.
Right. You hit it right on the nail. Right. And we going back what this young man said up with scriptures.
Yeah,
see, we getting the powerful. We getting the powerful young man here. You see what I'm saying? We getting the real deal in this bad boy. Our young men ain't even slice and dice. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Look. Oh.
And we're going into Ezekiel 44 and 23, I believe.
Right.
Okay. Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane.
Between the what?
The holy, the profane.
This is the job of a priest, is to teach between the holy. What does the holy mean?
The separate.
Right. Go ahead, Word.
I'm sorry. Ezekiel
44 and 23.
44 and 20. Thank you.
23.
44 and 20. Thank you. It's a good precept.
And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Discern. Let's deal with the word discern right quick. What does discern mean?
Go ahead.
From my understanding, which might not be that great, but discern is to interpret.
Right.
Yeah, interpret. Also to be able to simply tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Have an understanding.
Have an understanding. You know, an insight concerning that issue. You see what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, let's use the example of the deer.
Right.
If somebody comes before the priest and they say, well, I was wondering, I just caught that, I've caught this right here. Is this clean or is it unclean? And he's like, and he brings a case. He's like, well, I see that the Lord said that we couldn't sacrifice this unto the Lord.
Right.
So I'm thinking, well, maybe it might not be clean because I can't sacrifice this unto the Lord. Right.
Right.
But what did the Lord say about that? Plain as day in the Bible, right? A calf, you know what I'm saying, or a sheep that is spotted with black and white is clean for us to eat, but it's not clean for a sacrifice unto the Lord. So this deer that he's talking about, yes, the deer cannot go up on the altar.
Right.
But the deer does chew the cud and divide the hoof.
Right.
And the priest will tell him this is clean for you to eat. But for if you offering this to the Lord, it's not clean.
Damn right.
And that man can go away happy with that big 170-pound buck and have a feast.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? That's going down into discernment, into discernment. Now that man leaves off with some understanding. And he see that deer, and he see, like, say he's a man that traveled the world. He run across all two different types of deers. You see what I'm saying? He knows that all these variations are clean. They carry on these characteristics. So he don't even have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? He don't even have to take, he don't even have to worry about taking the moose to the priest.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And see if the moose is clean. He ain't got to worry about that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he knows that moose is in that family. The moose chews the cud and part of the divide the hoof.
That's right.
So he knows that it's clean to eat. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To cause the people to what?
To cause the people. That's lucky. And cause them to discern between the clean and unclean.
That's my fault.
All right. Go ahead.
Verse 24. In the controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgments.
That's right.
And they shall keep my laws and my statutes and all my assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths.
Right. What does it mean to hallow? Go ahead.
Keep holy.
Right, to exalt them above all the other days. Right.
Be thy name. Yeah, like, you know.
Right. Damn right.
Hallowed be thy name. Damn right.
Right. Exalted above all.
That's
See
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. All right. Any more?
Wow.
All right. Okay, now what we're going to do. Now, the job of the priest, that we see the job of the priest, right?
Right.
Now, let's ask yourself the question. Are the people that's teaching this stuff, are they the priests? Go ahead.
Right, I was going to ask you, is it a difference between what you call a pastor and a priest?
A pastor is a pastor, is a leader. You see what I'm saying? They're kind of one and the same. And that's the reason why King David, you know what I'm saying, when they brought the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem, how he had on his kingly garments and he had on the ephod. You see what I'm saying? Also, you see what I'm saying? They're pretty much the same, right? But the Most High does have he had a specific priest tribe. You see what I'm saying? Moses was like a king and a priest. And the kings of Israel is like kings and priests, but the priests have specific duties, and they could not take on the duties. You know what I'm saying? The priest is really higher than the king.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? In the nation of Israel, the priest is really higher. The king is the head figure. You know what I'm saying? But the priest, that's the reason why Uzziah, he was pumped up on himself. He was king. He was a righteous man. You see what I'm saying? But he had a moment of pride to where he broke inside the tabernacle and everything. And then the leprosy started raising. Even after the priest tried to keep him out, he still got through. You see what I'm saying? And the leprosy rose up in his forehead. You see what I'm saying? And he was a king, and he was in right standing with the Most High also. He was a righteous king on top of that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But that thing right there, he even married, the daughter of a priest. You see what I'm saying? To link himself with the priesthood, right? But the Most High said, any stranger that cometh along the priesthood shall be put to death. But that man, he had to go and dwell in a several house in an unclean land because he was now made a leper until the day that he died. You see what I'm saying? The Most High is serious about that thing. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happened. That's what happened to that man. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened to Uzziah. You know what I'm saying? A brother that was real industrious and all of that, building and doing all type of stuff, walked in the ways of the Lord and all of that. You see what I'm saying? But he got so pumped on himself that he wanted that priesthood. You see what I'm saying? And he had to die for his transgression. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was the head of all the people. You see what I'm saying? So there is a difference. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though they're one and the same, there's still a detailed difference. You see what I'm saying? Like let's give more examples. Like, say for instance, you had, King David. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, you had the priests. You see what I'm saying? You also had Nathan the prophet. You see what I'm saying? Nathan had to come and check King David. You see what I'm saying? I mean, all of our glory and boasting and stuff ain't nothing to the Most High. The Most High put us in all these positions. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And just like Nathan, who wasn't a king or anything, and that was the man that the Most High sent to King David to check King David. You see what I'm saying? Just like he sent Moses to Pharaoh. You see what I'm saying? You getting what? Are you seeing the difference though? Are you seeing the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go to Genesis. Okay, let's go to Genesis. Genesis 1 and 20.
Okay. Genesis 1 and 24. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth.
After his what?
After his kind.
After his kind. Now, see that word "kind." What does that mean? Can anybody tell me? Go ahead.
Like
after its own variation.
Yeah, right. like you got a tiger.
Right. That's a kind of cat.
Right. Yeah. You know, like specifically, yeah, like you said, a tiger. But then you see a jaguar. You know what I'm saying?
It's a cat. It's a different kind.
Yeah, different kind. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you know that they're cats. They're in the big cat and cat family, such and such. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
I was saying you got the Edomite kind.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You got the Moabite kind.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Moabite kind would also mean, would also involve the Koreans, but see, even they are separate from each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Everything with them is in order. You see what I'm saying? Right. Even though they're Moab, they still don't like their agendas crossing like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
That's why Korea are actually the bastards of China.
I believe that.
You see what I'm saying? That went about and started their own, thing and all of that. And they populated, and now they're a world power. And they keep everything Korean. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the way things go. The Most High, what does he do? He splits nations up.
Yeah, right.
He splits things up. You see what I'm saying? He don't come to bring everything together.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Damn right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind.
After his kind. Now, let's dig more into the kind thing right quick. Like, say for instance, now, like how would he have discerned kind? Looking at, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at the creatures, the habits, so on and so forth.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
They chew up the cud.
Right. They chew up the cud. We're gonna deal right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna deal with birds for right now, flying things, fowls, things like that. You see a fowl that you never saw before, right?
Right.
You never seen this before, and you know what I'm saying. And you see it, and it's a dead possum laying there.
Right.
He flies down out of the sky and starts eating that dead possum. What family do you think he's going to be with?
So lucky. I'm going to put him with the carnivore family, with the hawks and the eagles and that kind of bird.
Not specifically with them because they need fresh kill.
Right. Well, to me, the bird will be unclean.
Yes, it will be unclean.
With the unclean family.
But as far as we're going with kind, because see, a vulture and a eagle are not the same kind, even though they both eat the flesh of animals and all of that. They still are different because the vulture is not a hunter.
Right, he's a scavenger.
Right. Go ahead. Right.
That's exactly what the answer is. Scavenger.
Right. Exactly. So animals like the birds, like the buzzard.
Right.
You see its same habits.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And you see that it does the same thing. The condor. Right. You see that it does the same thing. The raptor. You see that it does the same thing. So when you see that bird that you never saw before and it has the same habits, what categorized is that? What
scavenger.
Right. After his what?
After his kind.
You see that? You see what I'm saying? You see that? And what shall the priest do? Let's see what the priest do again. Let's go back to 44 and 23. We're going to see what the priest do again.
Okay. I'm going to Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 44 and 23.
Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane.
Right. Go ahead, give me some more.
And cause them to discern.
Cause them to what?
Discern.
The bird that you never saw before.
Discern.
You see what I'm saying? Look at his habits. Watch it.
Damn right.
What does it do? You see what I'm saying? What does it eat? You do this with people.
Right. How does it act?
Yeah. You do this with people. Right? Mm-hmm. Don't you judge whether this nigga's a cool nigga and then that nigga is not cool?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you do it with people, then you gotta do it with the animals and stuff that you eat also.
Yeah. They know how to do it with dogs, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. You know
that
how to do
dog
it with
ain't
dogs.
no killer. That dog ain't no
killer. He ain't a killer right there. That dog is the killer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how to discern that.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Well, we're supposed to do that also with animals and with everything that we do in life. You see what I'm saying? Discern whether this is good or bad, whether this is wise or foolish.
Damn
you
right.
see what I'm saying? That's why UPK counsel, to get counsel to UPK is so important.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
And when we fail to take it, you see what I'm saying? Or we sleep on it or whatever, there's consequences that always come behind it. You see what I'm saying? Like one young man called earlier, he's not a young man, he's actually an officer, because of one spot where he didn't take counsel, now there's trouble. You see what I'm saying? Not no trouble that he can't get out of, but I mean, it's something that could have been avoided. You see what I'm saying? Right. Well, let's get back to the scriptures, though. Go ahead.
Come. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane.
Between the holy and profane. Go ahead.
And cause them to discern between clean and unclean.
See the job of the priest? This is the job of the priest right here. You see what I'm saying? Now ask yourself the question, where's the priesthood at?
Damn right.
Obviously, it's with the ISUPK.
Yes,
nobody else is doing this.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? No, these other groups, they're not doing it. They're coming up with crazy stuff. And see, here's the thing: what they're not trying to make a difference between clean and unclean, holy and profane. That's not what it's about with them.
Right.
What it's about with them is them being separate from other groups.
Right.
That's all that it is. So where they can say that they got the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's all that's about. Them doing something different, so they're set apart, seem to be set apart from everybody else. But in reality, they're lumped with the whole. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You know, just like when I was in the world, you know, it was a Christian church that celebrated the Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? But they wasn't 7-day Adventists, right?
Right.
They celebrated the Sabbaths and the feast days. And that was their niche. And telling everybody and deceiving everybody into thinking we got the truth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's how they're using it. That's how they use it. We don't use it that way because we are actually really concerned. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We are actually really genuinely concerned about your situation.
Damn right.
As our people. You see what I'm saying? Let's go back into the scriptures again.
Come. And the controversy.
In controversy, right?
And in controversy, they shall stand in judgment.
In judgment, because they've exercised their skills of discernment. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
When it comes to different situations, like say for instance, let's give another instance. A man stole a sheep from another man, right?
Right.
And he comes before the priest. and the priest, and it's found out that this man actually did steal the sheep, the judgment behind that, you go to the white man's judgment and he'll say, well, just give back the sheep or something like that. Maybe. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But our judgment would be, you give that man 4 sheep.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? You give that man 4 sheep, you know what I'm saying? You know, for what the sheep that you done took, you know, and then killed and ate whatever the hell, you give that man 4 in return.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? That right there will make a person think before taking someone else's stuff. It's like, oh, if I get found out, and the priests are wise men, and they definitely gonna grill me. You see what I'm saying? To find out whether I actually did this thing or not. And once it's found out, I will owe this man 4 in replacement for the 1. I ain't gonna take this nigga sheep.
Damn right.
I'm gonna step on somewhere. I ain't gonna take his sheep. You know what I'm saying? Now that man keeps his sheep, do his check. He checked himself. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Problem eliminated. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Go ahead.
Come. And they shall judge it.
Hold on for a second. Go ahead.
I was gonna make a comment.
Go ahead.
I said only if Jakes would realize that we against the world and how the consequences for that action is staggering in the white man's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That they would stop doing all the wicked shit they do to get put in jails. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem with Jake, right? Jake don't see that. Let me tell you for the reason why Jake won't see it. Is because he thinks that someday he's going to be a partaker with that world.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's going to be accepted in. Right. You know, because he can rap. He can rap.
Damn right. Because he can dribble a basketball.
Right. He can dribble a basketball. He can fly high and dunk. So he thinks, one day,
right.
Or he thinks that I can sell enough dope. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll have enough money where I can get a house out in wherever. Crescentsville or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Because he thinks, because he's been taught by the Christian church, now God loves me regardless of what I do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be separate from my people. I can come together with these other heathen nations and I would still be loved by the Most High. That's what he's taught in the world.
Because his God is the white man.
Damn right.
White man please, God happy.
Damn
That's
right.
the way he see it.
Right.
White man happy, God happy.
Right.
That's that he sees it. You see what I'm saying? That's why his value system is based on what they think.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Whatever they think is what his value system is, because he thinks God and the white man is like this. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Come. And cause them to discern between clean and the unclean.
Right. Cause them to discern between the clean and the unclean. Now we know the job of the priest. Let's go back to what we were just at.
Genesis. And we had Genesis 24, 1 to 24.
24.
Yeah, I think I get the class for this.
24 and what? I'm sorry, 24 and what?
Genesis.
24 and 1 and 24.
Genesis 1 to 24. Genesis 1 and 24. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind.
After his kind. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Cattle and creeping thing.
Cattle and creeping thing. Right?
And the beast of the earth after his kind.
And the beasts of the earth after his kind. Whatever his kind is. You see what I'm saying? You got the damn warthog.
Right.
The warthog is in the pig family.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You see the different variations of warthogs, the pot belly, you know what I'm saying? The guinea, the little bitty smaller pigs. Yeah. I don't know what they call. It ain't guinea pig. It's like a hamster or something.
Right.
But the little small little pigs. You know what I'm saying? All of them are the same family. You see what I'm saying? You see what they do, you know what I'm saying? And then inside that family of pigs, there's specific kinds. Like the warthog is a kind.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Okay. And it was so, verse 25. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind.
Everything has a job on the earth. You see what I'm saying? The warthog that I just mentioned, it has a job. What is it?
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? It eats everything. Okay?
Their kind.
You know, hogs even eat up disease.
Right.
You'd have hogs with all type of animals because they eat the infection of other animals.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They eat it. And just think about it. They go right from that to your dinner plate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Something that does that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind.
And everything that creeps upon the earth after his kind. What does it talk about everything that creepeth upon the earth? Let's deal with that word creepeth right quick. Let's deal with that. Because I heard the fake group say that anything that, they said that chickens and turkeys creep on the earth. That's not creeping. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Creeping would be the crawlies, your crawlies.
Right.
A centipede.
Like a scorpion.
On the earth. Yeah, scorpions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Things like that. They creep. Go ahead.
I have a question though. The locust is a clean.
Yes, that's a clean creepy thing.
Okay.
Right. Just like the grasshopper.
Yeah.
The cricket. You see what I'm saying? The bald locust, all of that, which we'll go into that, you know what I'm saying, here in a few. You know what I'm saying? Those are clean creeping things that you can eat. You see what I'm saying? You out at war, you know what I'm saying? You in a siege, you gotta live in the cave and all of that, whatever the case is. Those are clean things that out there that creeping things that you actually can eat.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And God saw that it was good. Let's do that. When we go to 26, sir.
Okay, go ahead. See, what is 26?
Let us make man in our image, our likeness. And let him have dominion over the flesh of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over the...
Okay, we'll scratch that. Let's go on to, then we have 6 and 20, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's go to that.
Okay.
We get a time check, young man.
5:19.
5:19, okay.
Genesis 6 and verse 20. Do you want me to start at 19, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay. Genesis 6 and 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall they bring unto the ark.
Now, with these 2 that's being brought up on the ark, right? What will eventually happen on the earth with these 2?
They're going to multiply.
Yes, not only that, but different variations
Right.
of these is going to come about.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm. And you'll be able to see what family belongs to what, right? So think about it. Now, you have some bird, and this bird is always pecking on the ground. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's always walking around and he's always pecking. Why is he doing it?
Because he's eating the grass and the seeds.
Right. That's why he's doing that. That's why his nature is to go around and peck. You see what I'm saying? Mm. He's not a vulture or anything like that. A vulture, the only time he's going to peck if he got something right there that's dead, decayed, and putrefying. Right. Then he's going to eat. He don't even peck, he rips it. You see what I'm saying? Rips the flesh of it. And gulps it and swallows it down. You see what I'm saying?
And like you said, with the pig, he's eating also the infection.
Right.
He's eating all the disease of that animal also.
Right. These are scavengers. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Now, give me some more.
To keep them alive with thee, and they shall be male and female.
Male and female. Why? No brainer right here.
Damn right.
Why?
So they can multiply.
Right, so they can breed. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Specific birds, they come together, they laying eggs and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
If I would. I ain't never seen a gay animal. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Right.
God.
You ain't never seen a gay animal. Even animals know man and woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How does a human not know it?
The white man got the world so twisted up, though. You got gay gorillas running around there. That's serious. These gorillas that's leaving their families and everything to be off with another male and to go hunch the other male and all of that.
No, man. That's something like the white man that done something to them gorillas personally.
Right.
To tranked them up and isolated them and shit and molested the gorillas. You know they into bestiality. That's what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. Of the fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind.
Every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. All the different grasshoppers and stuff, spiders and everything we just mentioned. All of that, all of these creepy night crawlies. You see what I'm saying? Centipedes and all types of living millipedes and all types of crazy stuff like that. Scorpions, bugs. Go ahead.
Two of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
Right. Okay. That's it. Okay. Now, what we're going to do from here, let's go to Numbers, chapter 11 and verse 31.
Okay. Numbers 11 and 21.
11 and 31.
Yeah, 11 and 31. Numbers is going to be right before Deuteronomy. You know what though, Sawaki, you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we say this every class. The white man is the devil, the Bible speaks.
Right.
That's right.
White man's the goddamn devil.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't say that today. I just thought it was important to get that out.
That's right. It's a stress reliever, huh?
Right. Said Numbers 11 and 31.
Right.
I personally say it in the morning, at lunchtime, and right before dinner.
Damn right. Numbers 11 and 31. One more time before I get to Numbers 11 and 31. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Damn right.
All right, Numbers 11 and 31. And there went forth a wind from the Lord and brought quails from the sea.
Quail. Now we're going to deal with the quail family, right?
Right.
It said the Lord brought quails from the sea, right? With the wind, he brought them through, right?
Right.
What are the characteristics of a quail? Can anybody say? What does it eat?
That's a lucky. Kind of like a chicken.
Right. Go ahead.
But the quails got webbed feet or something.
No, quails don't have webbed feet.
It said the sea.
A duck has webbed feet.
Quails
Ducks, geese, things like that have webbed feet.
Quails from the sea. That's the main thought.
And it's not actually the feet that make the ducks and everything unclean. They eat like algae and stuff like that.
Worms.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, worms and all of that.
Like crawdads and shit.
Right. They don't eat the grain. You see what I'm saying? That's why when we're gonna go into that also. We're gonna look at the different variations of certain things.
And so lucky for the young man. You ever heard a white devil say we're gonna go quail hunting?
Yeah.
Now he's not doing that by no water, right? You know what I'm saying? And if he is, it's gonna be like a little lake or a riverbed. Because even birds take baths. You've seen birds and bird baths, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They in the water, but they don't have wet feet. You get what I'm saying? So I understand you thinking of a different variation of the same bird. Like we was just saying, his kind. Take after his kind.
Yeah, those birds, they got the web feet, and they swim up on top of the water, and they go, and they peck insects and all of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They do that, you know what I'm saying, majority of the time in the water and off little rocks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of that type stuff. You know, this dog here, she's acting, you know, prissy right now.
She's probably living in a nightmare. Running from Moabites.
Chasing the heathen.
She having the dreams of the mailman. You really get his ass.
Heathen and mailman.
Right. Go ahead.
And there went forth a wind from the Lord and brought quails from the sea and let them fall by the camp.
Right. Because like what the officer was bringing up, they take baths. They go and they bathe and they all get up, you know, get around in the sea and all of that. And they social creatures. You see what I'm saying? They're real social. So they do all of that, you know what I'm saying? And the Most High caused that wind to come through. The wind carried and picked up in their wings and blew them right in front of the camp.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Go ahead.
As it were a day's journey on the side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side, around about the camp.
Mm.
And it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth.
Damn, that's a lot of quails right there.
Damn right.
2 cubits, that's somewhere around the area of 36 inches high. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
A cubit is like 18 inches. So 2 cubits, that's 36.
36 kind of time.
You know what I'm saying? That's 30, that's quails 36 inches high.
Damn, it was piled up.
Right. And the Most High wasn't giving them no unclean animals.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
You know, if that was the case, when Christ drove the demons out of that dude and they all went into the pigs, hell, why didn't he bring them into the city where the butchers was at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They went into the sea and drowned themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Because it was unclean.
Right. It's always funny because they also went to go into the pigs out of anything, out of everything else. You see what I'm saying? All right, go ahead. Let's keep going with the scriptures.
And the people stood up all that day, and all that night, and all that next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers.
Right. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers. What is 10 homers? A homer is like a basket.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He gathered 10 baskets. And that was the one that gathered least. You see what I'm saying? All right. Go ahead.
Okay. And they spread them all abroad for themselves around and about the camp.
Right. Okay. So now let me ask the question: was the Lord giving them clean animals or unclean?
Clean, sir.
Right. What makes the quail clean? Looking at this characteristic, just by looking at it.
Because it's like a chicken.
Yeah, because if you didn't have a Bible, say if you didn't know the Bible, right? But then you was looking for discernment, you know what I'm saying, of what is good to eat and what not. You see what I'm saying? And you see the habits of the quail. You see what he eats. What does he eat?
He's eating grass. He's eating like
herbs, seeds,
right? Like seeds and all that other the cut.
Right. You know what I'm saying? What it really they eat seeds and pulse.
Right.
Well, you want to go with seeds and pulse. You see what I'm saying? Predominantly. And they eat herbs and everything too, but it's mainly like seeds, pulse type deal. They're always pecking on the ground, you know what I'm saying? And all of that, right? Now, a chicken, you know, we're gonna see what family the chicken actually falls into. Okay. Because the chicken does the chicken predominantly eat dead stuff?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And the people that sit there and say that like chickens eat They'll eat chicken, eat anything. Chicken eat this, chicken eat that. He'll eat his own duty. Well, if his own duty is only a pile of seeds, I mean, what's he eating?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, what?
Yeah, and that's like a Christian pastor's favorite, like comeback on you eating unclean things. They say, oh well, the chicken.
Yeah, it is.
Eat anything. It's a nasty thing.
Now, see, here's the thing.
Eat that, right?
So, like, if I would, and in the same breath, he'll have a fish fry up catfish. And what is catfish? What is the job of a catfish? Yeah, exactly. That's the garbage disposal of the fish world.
What he's actually saying to you is, he's saying to you, God say, since Jesus died, we can eat whatever we want.
Right.
Now, if you challenge that and say we can't eat whatever we want, then why are you eating the chicken?
Right.
He eat chicken.
Right.
But see, he don't have no standard of what's clean and unclean because Jesus died for the hog and everything else. The way he see it.
And
you see what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. He pray all with, you know what I'm saying? But you, on the other hand, who actually want to keep the dietary law, he know you eat chicken. He say, see, you eat chicken.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Chicken is nasty. Chicken a nasty bird.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? He'll say all of that.
Right.
But he don't even understand when if the chicken eats his own duty, he's only eating seeds. You know what I'm saying? And grains.
Right.
And all of that. You see what I'm saying? The same damn thing you use to fertilize the goddamn yard. You see what I'm saying?
And so like, and if I would, and when you look at a chicken and the nature of a chicken is not, if a chicken's eating its own filth, it's because you're starving that goddamn chicken.
Mm. That's another point that I was going to bring up.
You're starving it.
Right.
It's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I said we had that talk.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even we know the white man's the devil, but look at his old cartoons. He show you the chicken running around eating seeds. They literally threw the grain on the ground for the chickens to eat. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Throw the grain on the ground. You know what I'm saying? The chicken's gonna eat the grain. He's gonna eat everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's lawful for an animal that's clean to eat. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the chicken eating scavenging like the vulture. You don't see it hunting down little rats like a hawk. Right. You know what I'm saying? We know the chicken is clean. Right. They trying to use that to once more to try to pretend like they got the truth and keep the laws.
Right. You know, and the fake Israelite groups are using that too. They're using that because they're trying to push everybody into being vegans. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to push everybody into that lifestyle, just eating, herbs and all of that. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to push everybody into that. So are we at 11 and 31?
Yeah, we done with that.
We done with that? Okay, went to 32. Okay, now what we're going to do, let's go into Leviticus, the 11th chapter. No, wait a minute. Yeah, Leviticus 11th chapter. We're going to go there before the numbers, the other deal. That's a whole other subject there.
So what exactly is the quail?
A quail is in the post and seed family. You see what I'm saying? A quail, you couldn't sacrifice a quail before the Most High either.
Right.
Turtle dove, yeah, you could.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, pigeon is a clean.
Yes, yeah, pigeon is clean also. Pigeon do the same thing. Animals will be pecking for seeds and stuff like that. They're not hunter birds. They're not scavengers. You see what I'm saying? They don't eat algae and worms and all of that stuff and bugs. They don't do any of that. You see what I'm saying? One of the ways to start to tell to discern whether something's clean or unclean or not, if it eats something that's lawful for you to eat, that'll start to open your eyes up. It's lawful for you to eat seeds and posts. What was Daniel them? What did Daniel them? When they wouldn't eat the sacrifices of the king, right?
Right.
They said, give us 10 days, we will eat posts and seeds, stuff like that, right? Right, which is the same thing that a bird would eat. What a clean bird would eat, that's clean to eat, right?
Right.
They did that. You see what I'm saying? So the animals, the birds that do that
are lawful.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Technically, any animal that does that is lawful.
No, except, wait a minute.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
It has to, you know what I'm saying? It has to chew the cud and part the hoof.
Right.
A rabbit does that.
Right.
You see what I'm
But
saying?
a rabbit's not part the hoof.
Right. A rabbit has paws.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
But
saying?
I was referring more to the baby crawlies, Salaki on that. You know what I'm saying? Like the grasshopper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the grasshopper's clean. It said any animal that has feet above its legs, you know, its legs go like this, and it hops. It's clean to eat. You know what I'm saying? The ones that don't, caterpillar eats the leaves and shit. You know what I'm saying? But a caterpillar does not have that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not go up on all fours. It has more legs than four.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That is unclean unto you.
Okay.
Even though, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Slucky. But so does that mean like if his belly don't touch the ground type deal? I heard some stuff like that.
No, just stick with what the Bible, we stick with what the scriptures say. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The scripture said, we're going to go into that. We're going to go into Leviticus 11. I don't want to give it all away. We're going to go into Leviticus 11 now and go straight into the everything.
So I'm starting at 1, sir?
You're right. Go ahead, start at 1.
It's kind of come. Leviticus 11, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Whatsoever parteth the hoof.
Whatever parteth the hoof. What does parting the hoof mean?
This right here.
Right. And is what?
And is clove-footed,
right.
cloven-footed.
Feet that come up like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And have 2 back here and these 2 right here. You know what I'm saying? Does that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. And cheweth the cud.
And chews the cud. Both. That's both of these characteristics. You see what I'm saying? You look at a pig feet. You know what I'm saying? Pig feet got that and got the 2 in the back and they go up like that and everything, but it chews not the cud.
Right, it chews everything.
Right.
Piggy eat his young.
Right.
I have a question. Just for my education, when you say chewing the cud, does that mean like our cows got like more than one stomach and like?
Right, that too. That's part of the deal too.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the deal too.
I'm not sure about the cud thing, like exactly what the chewing the cud exactly mean or consist of, or
like
the cud grass, green.
Right.
Okay.
Like if you got like a lettuce patch or something, they're gonna go out there and eat it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you got a green patch, they're gonna go out there and eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like things that you know is lawful. Like you know a cow is lawful. You know what I'm saying? So things that eat the same thing as a cow. The same thing as we was talking about with the chicken and the quails. How they pick at the seeds. Right. That's how you want to look at the cud. That's right. Chew up the cud.
Now see, here's the thing. This is the catch with that, right? Now, say for instance, I know y'all done heard by the time when y'all was kids or whatever, goats eat rags and goats eat aluminum cans and y'all heard that, right?
Right.
Is a goat clean or unclean?
Clean.
Yes, goat is clean. You see what I'm saying? Now think about it. Now if you have goats and your goats is eating rags and cans.
Your goats are starving.
Right.
And they're doing anything they can to try to survive.
Right. And you are you're supposed to separate cattle from cattle because see, farm animals can imitate.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You have a bunch of sheep with goats. What are the sheep gonna start to think they are?
Goats.
You see what I'm saying? if you put your sheep and your goats with pigs, what are they going to start to think they are?
Pigs.
You see what I'm saying? That's why you're supposed to separate. When you see like they got pop them, you know what I'm saying, and then you got the sheep. Everything's piled into one, ain't it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now we are supposed to be the clean nation here in America. What do we eat?
We eat the filth they eat.
Right. You see what I'm saying? If we're separate from them, pork will no longer be seen as a food.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? A pig, we will understand. We will come out of our dumbness and we will understand what the hell a pig is actually used for. And if you have pigs, he will be there for that purpose, not to eat.
And so what you're saying is so heavy, sir. Like you know what I'm saying? Like for the people who's brought up in a Christian background, you know, that was the main thing that we was always taught, to pray over your food. And we was praying over our food for no reason. Because we was taught that if you pray over your food, it makes it good to eat. It makes it holy to eat.
Right.
That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? If you're not supposed to eat it according to the Bible, it don't matter how much praying that you do over it. Don't eat the shit. And the thing is, like, these Christian pastors, man, these they're working for, and they ain't working for the Most High. Because this is something in the Christian church.
One favor, right quick. No. Teach the class right quick. Keep on leopard what you saying. I'm gonna go ahead and handle that.
Yeah, I just checked on it, sir. That's what I did when I got up.
With water?
Yeah.
Put water in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Check it again, make sure.
Come on, sir. And what Officer Terrell saying, as always, is saying, like, the fact of the matter is, like, basic stuff should be taught to us in the Christian church. The dietary laws should be among the top 10 things taught to us, on top of being holy. Like, we don't know what holy means in the real world. You know what I'm saying? You talk about I'm holier than thou. What does that mean when you say crap like that? You know what I'm saying? Because if you do your research, and when you come into the school of the Isupk under Commander General Yohana, you will learn that holy means separate. And we're supposed to be separate in everything that we do.
That's right.
This Bible is a book of law, statutes, and commandments, and it's meant for the 12 tribes of Israel.
Damn right.
And when we learn, it's the simple things like the dietary laws. Like when I came into the school, guess what? I was a pork chop eating, barbecuing every weekend, motherfucker. It's a lot in my language, you know what I'm saying? But I was a pig king around here, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know no better, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I did not know. I did not know that this right here, the dietary laws, I've never seen that a day in my life in the Christian church. Never. I was always taught, goddamn it, you can eat a human, just pray over it. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's how Christians operate, man. And that's not the truth. That's not the work of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to, if it don't part the hood, if it's not clove-footed, and it don't chew the cud, eat it.
Right. That's damn right. Need more scripture.
Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them.
These shall ye not eat of them. Right? Go ahead.
Chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof.
Or of them that divide the hoof. Right?
As the camel.
The camel. Why the camel?
Because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof.
Divideth not the hoof. He chews the cud, but he doesn't part the hoof, and he's not cloven footed. You see what I'm saying? He is unclean.
He is unclean unto you.
So you run across an animal. You go to a foreign country. You run across an animal, right? And and you see that animal, you like, damn, you know, you wonder if he's clean to eat. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you see, you know, the people there, they're eating it, right?
Right.
They got it cooked up and all of that. How do you discern?
By the God turns to the Most High.
No. How do you discern once you see him?
By what he's eating. You know what I'm saying?
What is his characteristics?
Right.
Is he clothed? Is he part the hoof? Is he clothed and put it? And does he chew the cud? That way you'll know he's clean.
Right. Damn right.
To eat. So then you can go to the shop, the market, and go buy you some of that. You know what I'm saying? And go eat it. Go ahead.
I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say, thank you, Howard, for how you simplify things for us. That's why, like, it really ain't no damn excuse.
Right.
You're damn right, boy. Right. It ain't. That's why when I heard the truth, I had to start accepting the truth. This is as simple as me. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. Right. So you either get with it or you get dead. It's that simple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Right.
Get with it or get dead.
Fast or you die slow.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
Right.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? I never thank God for the ISUPK under Commander General Young.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they made my life a whole lot simpler. I used to think life was complicated. It's not. Them heathens are your enemies, and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's that simple.
Just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Put that weed down. Quit going out. You know what I'm saying? Messing with them whores. Whatever woman you lay with, you stuck with. So guess what I stopped doing? I stopped whore chasing. Because you know what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not about to be stuck with no whores.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Damn right.
Go ahead, boy. Give me some more.
Come. Verse 5. In the colony.
No, take your time.
In the colony.
The coney.
That's so lucky. In the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
Yes, he's unclean. What the hell is a coney? Anybody know? I don't know. Go ahead.
No. Sorry.
Is that so lucky? I was going to say a horse. A horse.
It might be in a horse family, something like that.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
Maybe coney might be the biblical version of pony. Hell, I don't know.
Zebra or something. It's a deer.
Yeah, something like that.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
It's in a horse family.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Verse 6. And the hair, because he cheweth the cud,
Now, it said the hair, right? Somebody will say, get slick and say, well, a rabbit is not a hare, it's a rabbit.
Right.
How would you combat that? Anybody tell me, how would you combat against somebody say some retarded stuff like that?
So, like, you say that again?
All right. Yeah, read that part again.
Come. And the hair, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof.
Now, the hair, what is a hair?
Like a rabbit. It's in the rabbit family.
Right. It's in the rabbit family, right?
Right.
And they say, but you have different variations of rabbit, right?
Right.
Now, if somebody come with a bunny rabbit and say, and they want to
push
it
hair.
Yeah, say it's not a hair, how would you correct them?
That's lucky.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, warrior.
It's of its own kind.
Yeah, that too.
So it's unclean.
You want to couple that though. You want to couple that by saying he chews the cud, but he divided not the hook.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Like
you want to use both of them. What you said was great.
Right.
You want to use both of them and drive it home. You see what I'm saying? You'd be like, the rabbit is a variation also of the hare, because when we go back to Genesis, it said everything according to its what?
Kind.
You see what I'm saying? Right?
And
that's what you want to go on.
But it don't part of the hook.
Right.
It has paws like a goddamn dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also, too, if we want to go even a little deeper than that, look at the habits, the mating habits of the hare. How they say you are what you eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the ox, I'm going a little bit deep over here. You know what I'm saying? Remember the law concerning the ox that have gored a man to death.
You put it to death.
Right? Could you eat it?
Why?
Why not?
Because it killed a man.
Anybody understanding this?
I'm sorry. What happened again?
Salaki, it killed the man, so it makes it unclean.
Right. It makes it unclean, but going a little bit deeper into the psyche of that animal.
No, it tasted human flesh.
Not that it tasted human flesh.
It spilled.
Not that it tasted it. It didn't taste it. He gored it to death with its horns. Right. He didn't eat it. Yeah. He didn't eat the human.
Yeah. I was just speaking metaphorically. Yeah, the blood of the human was spilled.
Go ahead.
So you say the ox
was a goddamn murderer. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Which makes it unclean.
Right.
So is the ox and the bull like the same?
Yeah. The ox is clean.
Yeah, you can clean unless
if he killed a man.
You put it to death.
If he gored a man with his horns, you know what I'm saying? The owner had not kept him in, and he went and he aggressively gored a man to death. That animal, even though he's born clean, he's technically clean, he is unclean to eat because that animal's a goddamn murderer.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I didn't
see what I'm saying?
I didn't know that. Wow. Need to study some.
That's going a little deep. You know what I'm saying? It's going just a little deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember we went over that in class one time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That animal's a goddamn murderer.
And you put it to death.
Right. You kill him. Not only do you put him to death, right?
Right.
The thing is to be stoned. Just like an animal that's laid with a woman, he's not to be just slaughtered just like a regular.
He's to be stoned to death along with the woman.
Right. They're both to be stoned to death.
Right. And that's the laws. That's the laws according to the Bible. Okay. Like with that one story when they said he who without sin cast the first stone, like that wasn't like Christians love to use that line. But what you got to understand is that it's not harsh talking like how we do. That's what they let us say to us when we out there prophesizing. Let he without sin throw the first stone. We ain't throwing no goddamn stones.
Yeah, we ain't throwing one single stone.
You know what I'm saying?
If we threw a stone, somebody's head would be split the hell open.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Damn right.
That's right.
We making astute observations out there. When they try to pull that scripture, that's talking about the judgment according to the Bible.
Right. You know what I'm saying? On no goddamn
right. You know what I'm saying? When they was talking about that woman, they was gonna put that woman to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They was gonna kill her.
Damn right. And
we ain't trying to kill no goddamn body. We're just telling you right from wrong.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. We telling you the judgment. We ain't saying we're gonna do a goddamn thing to you.
Damn right. We ain't throwing
you know what I'm saying? Right.
We prophesizing. It's a big difference.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We warning you of the judgment. We're ambassadors coming to warn you. You know what I'm saying?
Doing the work of the Most High.
Right. Exactly.
Under Commandant General Yohana and this ISUPK army.
Damn right. Any more?
Okay. It says, in the hair, because he cheweth the cud, but not divideth the hoof, is unclean.
He's unclean to you.
Unto you.
The bunny rabbit somewhere over in Ethiopia, some weird bunny. How do you know what it is?
Because you of its kind.
The characteristics.
Right, its characteristics.
Yeah.
That's better. Its characteristics. He's chewing around on the little grass. He's hopping around.
But he has paws.
Right. You know what that is.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You already know. You see that, you know what the hell that is.
All right.
Yeah, right. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet cheweth not the cud.
Pot belly.
Cheweth not the cud.
The pot belly. What is he?
He's a pig.
Yeah.
A swine.
Right. The little warthog.
A swine.
Big warthog.
A swine.
Right.
Your bacon for breakfast, a swine. Your sausage for breakfast, a swine.
Right.
And right here, Christians, the swine, though it divideth the hoof and be clove-footed, yet cheweth not the cud.
He don't chew the cud.
He is unclean to you.
Right.
So it don't matter how much praying you do over it. I mean, look, I used to love king ribs too. But guess what? This scripture right here, verse 7. Leviticus 11, verse 7. The swine, so he divideth the hoof and be clothed-footed, yet he cheweth not the cloth. He is unclean to you.
Go ahead, Warrior.
And it's crazy because, you know, I know these pastors done read the scriptures that talking about they done defiled my temple, sacrifice of unclean animals,
right?
Pigs, and how you gonna be killed for eating, you know what I'm saying?
So lucky if I would. And that's what the Christian church is known for. Barbecues with what? Pig ribs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's supposed to be a place of the Most High, right?
Sunday ham.
Right. Remember, I was at a pastor's house one time, you know what I'm saying? When I first came into the knowledge of being an Israelite, I'm sitting there trying to put him up on game about being an Israelite. I'm at the house or whatever. They had some damn pork with the green beans. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna eat the green beans
because it had the pork.
Right. You know, and his wife was like, you can just take the pork out of it.
But you assaulted it with the ham.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. You know what I'm saying? This is a heavy thing though, man. Like because, you know, all my family, you know what I'm saying, they still in the Christian world and they choose not to believe because that makes it easier for them to keep sinning. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to believe in what we, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody believed in the Bible until Commander General Yohana brought that truth out. You know what I'm saying? When Commander General Yohana started bringing that truth out and the ISUPK start growing to how it is now all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Now people don't want to believe in the Bible no more. So they can keep eating their pork chops, keep having their bacon sandwiches, you know what I'm saying? Keep being whores. But this is what it is. And if you love the Most High, this is what you have to do. Point blank, period.
Boy. You know what I'm saying? They bankroll all.
Right.
Now let's get back to the scriptures right quick.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. Fins and scales and water and the seas and the river.
What animals in the sea scales do? Can anybody tell me what scales actually do? No.
Talking about on the fish.
Not really sure.
Fish and sheep out certain full of bubbles. Fish that have scales swim through the waters and they have scales and everything bounces off them just like water bounces off a goddamn roof with shingles on it.
It's lucky. If I would, and like what you was about to in the meals, like they have toxin in them. Like certain eels have poison, like snakes in them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Catfish have certain toxins in them that if you don't clean it the right way, you're gonna get sick. You know what I'm saying? We know this from. I mean, I know this from when I was in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Certain fishes, like if you don't clean them the right way, you're gonna get sick and die. Literally die. You know what I'm saying?
Pufferfish.
Right.
There's another fish. That's a fish that kills like 50 people per year.
Right. Octopus.
Asians, right?
Right. Yeah, Asians, they love the hell out of pufferfish. They die like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Eating tentacles that stick into your throat. Have eye dye in them. When they get scared, they change colors and shoot ink. That's that eye dye in them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's poison. Literally poison in them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just like the pufferfish, poison in poison. That's exactly what that is. Salaki, sir. I mean
frogs. You know what I'm saying?
Certain frogs.
On the riverbank. All frogs.
Yeah. But I'm talking about certain ones are even more poisonous.
Yeah, certain
like the
more,
bright ones that you know what I'm saying, can damn near turn colors and shit.
Yeah, the real pretty ones.
And get real big and shit. It get big. Them is the real poison ones. Even know not to eat them. Oh shit!
It's too bright.
Yeah, let me keep pushing.
Yeah, they know what's up because hell, you can take a little spot and they poison
and kill an elephant.
Devils used to get high.
They used to lick the toes and shit. Right?
Yeah, they used to get high of toads because the toads, the warts secrete a certain type of poison. Get butter. You know what I'm saying?
Esau.
Yeah, they'll take many multiple ways to get
That's what they do. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And that's
right.
I mean, just think about it. Who put all the drugs in your community?
Right.
The devils did. That's what they do. They perpetuate out.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Eating shrooms and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The devil had to discover that shit for.
Well, let's get some more.
Kind. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Oh, Shalaki, I just read that. Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the sea and the earth, of all that moves in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Right. Let's keep going.
That's like, and that's heavy. He let you know it's an abomination.
Yes. What is abomination? Let's deal with what abomination is. I'm glad you looked at that. Go ahead.
So watch. Hate. It's abomination is hatred. You know what I'm saying?
I would say it would be like, abomination would be, like for instance, you'll pick up, a cat and pet the cat, but then you'll see a rat and you go, oh. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That is an abomination unto you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To even touch its dead body. You know what I'm saying?
Come. Verse 11. They shall be even an abomination unto you.
Now we see what abomination, give an example of an abomination. You see what I'm saying? Right. Abomination is something that's like utterly detestable. Like,
you can't stay away from
get this goddamn thing away from me.
Yeah, so because you hate rats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like something that so lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta do the Google research on the word abomination, but you know what I'm saying? When I was in the world, that's what I thought it meant. Abomination meant hatred. Like something that you just utterly detest.
Yeah,
you know
it is, but
and a visual.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Kind of.
That hatred means, you want to put it more like something that's like, oh, get that the hell away from me.
It's foul.
Yeah, get that away from me. Right. Not that you want to kill every one of them, right. Not like you're on a campaign to kill every rat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every possum or whatever. But you see a pot, you want to go. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like that. That damn thing is abominable unto you.
Interracial relationships is an abomination.
Abomination, right? Abominable. Another thing. You see that? Right. You see the what? You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
These things should never be common to us.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn
These
right.
things should never be normal. When certain stupid stuff starts to be normal to you, that's bad. That's very bad. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Things like that should never be normal to us, ever. I don't give a damn.
Right.
Black, white man, black woman, that shit should never be the norm to us.
Abomination.
That's how they get you, by making things the norm to you.
Right.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? You see two girls holding hands, and you know that they getting down with each other. Ain't no goddamn way that should be looked at as normal to you.
Right.
You are a man that's technically from another goddamn planet. You see what I'm saying? Really though, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not a part of this world.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
This world is strange to you.
Damn right.
You understand it because you was once in it, but at the same time, you're new, you're born again, you're a new creature. It is strange.
Yeah. Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if it's strange, then it can change.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? If it's not strange to you,
you're still in the world.
Stay the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
You have to fight it by making it as something detestable. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right. Damn right.
I mean, hell, look what they did to us. At one time, a masculine black man was the norm.
Right.
Now you're a masculine black man, and in their warfare against you, they can look at you like you're something strange.
Right.
And then you start to check yourself like, damn, next thing you know, you come out the next day with a pink sweater on.
So
you see what I'm saying? You see a fight? Go ahead.
Yeah, so lucky. And in the ISUPK, that's the norm, though. When you see all these alpha males around this motherfucker, that's the norm in the ISUPK. So lucky my language.
And we're going to make that the whole goddamn norm for the nation. That's what we're going to do.
Damn right.
That's right.
That's what it's going to become. It's going to become the norm for the nation.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn right. So lucky.
Go ahead.
If I would. Like that's what drew me to the ISUPK. Because, the world, I couldn't fall with the bullshit. These niggas is lucky my language, half of faggots. And by half of faggots, whole faggots, of course. You know what I'm saying? They was turning everything gay around me You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, where can a nigga like me feel at home at? You know what I'm saying? I'm not falling for that shit. If you see what's going on with the world and you know the truth, the ISUPK is your home. You can be a ISUPK. You can be a tax predator to be in this ISUPK.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And you'll learn how to put that woman in line.
Damn right.
See what I'm saying? Now, let's get some more on the scriptures.
Kind of a con.
Let's speed up the pace. Take your time.
Kind of con. Shall have the end about 13. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls.
Okay, there we go. This is important. I don't want to meet you. Go ahead.
Kind of a con. They shall not be eaten, and they are an abomination. The eagle.
Right. What's up with the eagle?
Salaki, it's a predator. It's a meat eater, a carnivore.
Right. And notice the scripture didn't break down that part, did it?
Right.
This is common knowledge what an eagle is.
Yeah, right.
An eagle's a hunter, he's a killer. You see what I'm saying? Eagle kills. He kills. Look, go ahead.
It's funny how Edomite exalt themselves as the eagle.
Right. Because that's what they do. They do the same thing.
Right. You want to flow?
And it's the goddamn
right. And osprey.
What characteristics do they have in common?
The vulture is a scavenger.
Right. The chicken is. What is the chicken's natural food?
It's gonna eat the seeds.
Right. The vulture ain't gonna eat no goddamn seeds.
It's gonna look at raggedy, rotten carcass around here.
Right. Right. He's not gonna want to eat that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Vulture eats asshole. Yeah.
always hung around, half dead. It was waiting for you to die so you can eat you.
Right. Not only
they circle it around
like the ravens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Crow. All of that. Different type.
Right.
All of these are unclean birds.
Right.
Nobody eats that. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing too. Out of all the unclean, it's funny because out of all the unclean creatures, right?
Right.
Now pay attention to this stuff, y'all. Out of all the unclean creatures that people actually do eat,
right?
You know, like crab, lobster, pig, all of that. You ever notice who eats unclean birds?
The white man.
No, he don't even eat them. I ain't never seen a white man have a vulture feast.
No, he ain't never eaten no vulture.
What?
I'm sorry, is the emu unclean?
The who?
The emu.
What is that?
It's like an ostrich.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because they eat.
You know what?
Shits.
We gotta ask. We gotta ask.
What they eat the emu?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of that.
That's like a big ass ostrich.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. I want to ask the priest, but
what does it eat? What does that eat? What does it eat?
It eats the cut. It's not a carnivore.
Shit.
Or a scavenger.
If that's the case, see, with the birds and everything, it's way more cut and dry.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's way more cut and dry with the fowls. You see what I'm saying? Right. It's easier to discern, it's more cut and dry because you don't have the department of the hoof. No bird parts the hoof any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? No bird parts the hoof. You know what I'm saying? It has regular feet like a bird, you know? Go ahead.
It's like an ugly ostrich. Or even uglier ostrich.
You have to, one of the things with the discern, you have to look at the habits of that bird. What does it do? You see what I'm saying? What does it eat?
It's just like a goddamn ostrich, except a little bit more smarter.
Well, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about how smart it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If it ends up on a dinner plate, then obviously it's not a genius. But, you know what I'm saying? Whatever one when you got that dinner plate, it's probably not, like this diabolical genius or whatever.
Right.
But, what I'm saying is, as far as, with birds, it's more cut and dry because the whole part and the hoof thing is off the table.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When it comes to cattle, it is on the table. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to horses and camels and sheep and goats and, you know what I'm saying, and all of that stuff is chewed the cud and part the hoof.
Right.
An ostrich also pecks.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It does the same thing. It pecks. I don't know. I have to look more into the whole ostrich thing because I know people eat ostrich eggs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, there are certain clean animals that people just not really accustomed to eat. Giraffe is clean to eat.
Giraffe?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Giraffe is clean to eat it. And it parts the hoof.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, people just, this is not something that people just go hunt and, you know, it's just not on the top list of things to eat. But if you're at war or something like that, you see a big, thick giraffe and he's all tall.
It's going to feed your army for a minute.
Yeah, hell yeah. That big long neck, you can cook mini, you can sit there and take a giraffe neck and you can cook many pots of greens on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know? You know, look into that. But with birds, things are a little more cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? Whatever birds eat the pulse and the seeds and everything, you know what I'm saying? The pigeon. Nobody would think that a pigeon would be clean to eat because people don't eat that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody eats that. You know what I'm saying? You look at, if that's the case, you got niggas in New York and Chicago that have super overwhelming pigeon populations. But people there is on food stamps. You know what I'm saying, though? Yeah. You know, people there, you know, certain people there ain't eating, they eating on ramen noodles and all that. You know what I'm saying? But a pigeon technically is clean to eat. Because what does it do?
It pecks.
It eats the seeds and the pulse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't eat meat. They don't kill anything. They're not carnivore. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not omnivores. They're not scavengers. They're not any of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They eat, they peck, and they get the herbs and stuff like that. That's clean stuff to eat. And pigeons is also a clean sacrifice unto the Lord if it's solid white. You see what I'm saying? That's the turtle dove. You know what I'm saying? The solid white one, that's the turtle dove.
Oh, so the pigeon is the turtle dove.
Right, but it's a solid white one though.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that's clean, that's even sacrificed unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, these dietary laws are something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a good topic because I didn't know what these animals are. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
Right, you know, you could sacrifice pigeons if a person didn't have the lamb. If the house was too poor for a lamb, then you could go on the pigeon. You had the pigeons, you know what I'm saying? The pigeon is lesser in value, but it was also acceptable, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, even when it was like a male child born, you was supposed to, for the uncleanness, the sacrifice of uncleanness, it had to do with like 2 pigeons, you know what I'm saying? You sacrificed the 2 pigeons, you know what I'm saying, for the uncleanness.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua. All right, now.
Warrior, come up this door for
Yes, sir.
Yeah, also too, okay, let me get a time check, Warrior.
6:20, sir.
Oh, 6:20. Okay, so I just got 10 minutes left on the next subject. All right. DNA testing. Right? What they got going on now is DNA is supposed to, you know, they having this big DNA, this is National DNA Day. Did you know that word?
No.
I know that. All right. This is National DNA Day. I never even knew this holiday even existed.
Yeah, they come with all kinds of stuff.
You know what I'm saying? But DNA test is supposed to tell us you know, of course, where we come from now with that. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself the question, why didn't your DNA test ever, you know, tell you that you came from the place that you came from, where you was born at? Like, say, for instance, if you live in Washington, D.C., but you wasn't born there, right? Why didn't your DNA test ever say that you came from Florida? You know what I'm saying? You have to think about that for a second. Why didn't your DNA test go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, Water?
Go.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and no, first, wait a minute, hold on. First, for a second, we're gonna go to Numbers. We're gonna go to Numbers right quick. That was the thing.
I also have an insert on that. I also have an insert on the DNA day when it was established.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got to read on that?
Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. Go ahead, Warren.
Okay. You want me to go with the insert or you want me to go to Numbers?
Which one? Yeah, we're going to go to Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. But give me the read first.
Come. DNA Day 2018. ASHG, whatever acronym that is, National DNA Day commemorates the completion of the Human Genome Project in April 2003 and the discovery of the double helix of DNA in 1953. This year's DNA Day will be on Wednesday, April 25th, 2018.
Look at that. You see what I'm saying? They come up with a new holiday, and this holiday's been around since what, 2000? You said 2003.
15 years.
Right. I never even heard of it until this year.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. They said they're trying to make Native Indians and Mexicans, you know, show their DNA as far as whether they're actually indigenous to America or not. Really though? Ain't that something, right?
Right.
Now, but with DNA testing, right? It's funny because what do they always link you to in DNA testing? They always link you to a land.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? DNA is supposed to link you back to a person and a people.
Right.
When they do a paternity test on Maury, I ain't never sat there and heard them say, well, the test result says
Africa's the father.
Right. Senegal is the father. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Niger, you are not the father. What the hell?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Morocco, you're not the father. You know what I'm saying? Nigeria, you are not the father.
Right.
You know, what the hell? Mali, you are the father. I've never seen that, ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
Your DNA is actually supposed to link you back to a person. It's not supposed to link you back to a goddamn land. You see what I'm saying? And if this is the case, white people can come here from South Africa. They ain't even got to be from South Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They can just sit there and want to claim African American benefits, right?
Right.
They'll do a DNA test on that white man, which is a lot of times Jewish. They'll do a DNA test on him and say, you are 8% sub-Saharan African. He'll get African American benefits.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
He'll get it. They say, okay, an Irish man. They'll say, you got roots leading to South Africa. African American benefits, you can get them. It's the same thing they did to us a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Notice, ever since they've been talking about slave reparations and all of that, all of a sudden the Irish became slaves?
Mm-hmm.
The hell?
Right.
Nobody. Where was this history at? Why did this history only come conveniently? Right? Why did it only come conveniently when they was talking about reparations for black people? All of a sudden, for black slave for slaves, right? All of a sudden, the Irish were slaves. Ain't that some shit?
Right.
They became slaves at that moment. Nobody ever heard of it before then. Before there was something to benefit, right?
Gone.
Before there was something where you could make a goddamn profit. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing heard about this then. But now, since blacks is pushing for slave reparations, all of a sudden the Irish were slaves. Ain't that something? You see what I'm saying? The Irish were actually overseers.
Exactly.
They weren't slaves, go ahead.
Indentured servants.
Right. They can go into the barn, they can beat up and screw and rape any black woman that they wanted to. Nothing would ever be done. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Equivalent to what they would call white trash today.
Right.
They all trash.
White trash is not a slave. That's what people don't understand. Every nation, every nationality of white people that's ever came here, because they're not English. They're not of the forefathers of people that established America, right? The Italians, all of them have to have a season to where they're mistreated. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't want them uprising over them. They didn't want America becoming Italian.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They didn't want America becoming Irish America. They didn't want an extension of Ireland, just like they didn't want this place to be an extension of Italy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they oppressed those people to make sure that this thing doesn't happen. And those people knew that this stuff was going to happen. They voluntarily came over to be oppressed. You see what I'm saying? Because they knew eventually they would have a leg up on blacks. The only thing that made them want to come here is us being here. You see what I'm saying? Because they knew that we were the labor force that would build their lap of luxury. They knew that. It would just take a little bit of time. You see what I'm saying? And once integration happened, oh, hell, all of them shot through the roof. All of them moved up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell, that's why the Kennedys loved Martin Luther King so much.
Right.
Well, the Kennedys were Irish. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
40 years before that, the Irish was looked at, you look at the movie Gangs in New York, how was they looked at? Now they got this nigga that want to join everybody together. They're like, oh man, we need to get behind that moolie right there.
Right.
Go ahead.
Even the grease balls treated the Irishmen, like
right. And they treated each other bad. Right. But here's the thing though. They all went into business and the bootlegging business and all that stuff together. They all sat at the same table up under, the Lucky Luciano and them, right? Yeah. The Irish, the Jewish, you know what I'm saying? And the Italians, you know what I'm saying? And whatever white group that you were, you see what I'm saying? Sat down at that same table.
Right.
Reviving Rome. You see what I'm saying? That's what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were making a European Union only on a smaller scale inside organized crime. That's all they was doing.
Right.
So when people is running around trying to say that the Irish are Israelites, that is damn garbage. And they can do all the DNA testing that they want to. Negroes, a lot of people see that they want to believe that they're part this and part that. They'll sit there and say, they'll sit there and take the DNA of a black person, right? And they'll say, okay, you're part Senegal, you're part Nigerian, you're part Congo, but you're also part Indo-European.
What?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Their eyes light up when they find that out. You see what I'm saying? Their eyes light up like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like their high beams come on in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I'm not like the rest of you Negroes. I'm 8% Caucasian.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But these are the people that we'll look to as being somebody that will really stand and love black people, they look at that 4% of white European that the devil said that they are, and they'll look at that as being greater than the whole other 96%.
Right.
But this is who you trust to like be on your side, right? La. Not me. You know what I'm saying? Especially black women. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Black women eat this up. Them Christian black women. Oh man, you tell her she has half of 1% of white blood in her. Oh my goodness.
Half of 1%.
You know what I'm saying? You tell her that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
That automatically becomes the damn majority with her. You see what I'm saying? That's all she can think about is that half of 1%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She don't even give a damn about that 99.5%. She don't give a damn about that. You know what I'm saying? That 1/2 of 1% is what means something to her. Go ahead.
That's just like the percentage of the black wealth, and they see this 1 out of 10 million Negro
right.
They think they just can make it. They can just be just like them.
Right. All of a sudden that becomes the whole of your people right now. Because you got Michael Jordan.
Right.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, let's get into this numbers. I want you to go ahead and give me a read on this. Let's start at verse 16.
Numbers, what chapter?
Numbers chapter 1, verse 16.
Chapter 1, verse 16. God will come. Numbers chapter 1, verse 16. These were renowned of the congregation. Prince of the tribes.
Princess, take your time.
I'm sorry. Princess of the tribes.
Princes of the tribe. What does that mean?
Like sons or sons of the kings of their own
Not
tribe.
only that, but people that had chief positions.
Right.
That were supposed to look out for the people. You see what I'm saying? It's supposed to, they were shepherds of the people. Also, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Princes of the tribes of their fathers, head of thousands.
Heads of thousands. Go ahead.
In Israel.
Heads of thousands in Israel, right? Go ahead.
And Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names.
Right. They called the men forth. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And they assembled all the congregations together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees.
Declared their pedigree. What does that mean?
Lineage or
Generations.
generations.
Right. Go ahead. Lineage. Go ahead.
After their families.
After their families. Go ahead.
By the house of their fathers.
By the house of what?
Their fathers.
How's a person identified?
Their fathers.
Yeah. That's what you identified by. Even white people know this. You know what I'm saying? Because they did a study years ago. They were saying, what actually is the blueprint for success in America? I'm paraphrasing what they actually said, but they said, what is the foundation of a successful family or person inside of America? It's always judged by who your father was.
Right, a good name.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the name Trump.
Right. Rothschild.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wealthy,
Exactly.
A wealthy background.
Yeah. Right. A wealthy background. And we got slave names.
Right.
So we cut out of that deal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You know, we totally severed from that because we carry on the name of somebody else, you know, that was a ruler over our people, and we carry their goddamn name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, with you know, like say for instance, when you see a black person with the name, well, let's mention this: a black person with an Irish name. This is one point that I want to make a mention of too. A black person with an Irish, right? If Irish was slaves, how do you get that? Okay, let that sink in for a second. Right?
Exactly.
If they were slaves alongside of us, how many of us is running around with, ancient Indian names?
Right.
Or ancient black names. None of us is running around with that stuff.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? How many Irish is running around with that? They're not running around with that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? How many niggas do you see named Malone?
Yeah.
Malone is an Irish name.
Yeah.
McDowell.
What about Scott? What is Scott? Kind of last name.
That has to do with the people being Scotch. You know what I'm saying? Scottish and all of that too. Because a lot of the times the names is based on, you see what I'm saying? Because Ireland and Scotland, they're pretty much the same people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were severed. One land's called Ireland, one land's called Scotland. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And just like when you look at Braveheart, those weren't Irish people, those were Scottish.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
They had the same
Right.
dialect though, kind of.
Right. So if you got the last name Scott, then your slave master was probably Scottish.
Go.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you have the name McDonald, McDowell, O'Neill, names like that, your peoples was probably Irish.
Right.
Your masters, rather, was probably Irish. You see what I'm saying? Your peoples was owned by Irishmen. Now, if the Irish were Irish, or if the Irish were slaves, how the hell you got their name?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you got their name? That's a property name.
Right.
And then they said, oh, no, see, no, what was going on? See, you had a whole lot of Irishmen that they was marrying black women, and they, no, those black women were goddamn slaves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't Ireland set up on the Council of Nations and everything today? Don't they sit on the European Union? Don't they have a seat?
Yes, sir.
You don't get a seat for being poor or being a slave. That's not how you get a seat.
Right.
You get a seat from being a slave master. That's how you get a seat on the European Union. You see what I'm saying?
God.
Ireland has representatives. You see what I'm saying? The Kennedys were Irish. You know what I'm saying? Kennedys became president in the 60s. Joe Kennedy was a bootlegger right alongside the Italians. He did business with the Italians and all of them. Not as a goddamn slave. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But as an equal. Not only Joe Kennedy himself, but the whole Kennedy family. You see what I'm saying?
God.
They all were, you know what I'm saying, the Irish, the Italians, the whatever you were, as long as you was white, they all were together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
That's how they got there. That's how that thing worked. And when they took a black woman, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times that black woman, she was, that was their slave. You see what I'm saying? They own slaves also.
Exactly.
They're white. And what did they do with the Irish? They gave them the police department in 1865.
Paddy wagons.
Right. There you go. They're good. I never even thought about that one before. That's a hell of a thing right there. They call them paddies. Paddy wagon. They're right. Damn. That's a clap moment right there. I never even thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Paddy wagons. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so what does that tell you about the Irish? What were they in slavery? They were overseers.
Yeah, overseers and hunted.
Right.
Runaway slaves down.
Right. They were just lower level whites. That's all it was. They were lower level whites paying their dues in America, just like every other race comes, and they do a low servitude for a specific amount of time. Then they get moved up the ladder in society. Right. That's everybody. China had to do it too. Go ahead.
And coincidentally enough, they were the first police force created. And you think about in the early 1900s and late 1800s, the most common nationality of a police officer was an Irishman.
Right. Yes. When you look at the Godfather, you know what I'm saying? What was that dude? The chief of police that was Sollozzo's bodyguard?
Yeah.
McCluskey. What was he?
Irishman.
Yeah, he was Irish. And he was the chief of police. And if you killed the chief of police, right? Yeah. All the 5 families would come against you.
Yeah.
They was doing that for a nigga, huh?
Right.
Nah, they wasn't doing that for no black, you know what I'm saying? Or no person, you know what I'm saying? Or no person that was a slave. They was doing this for a white man who is now getting his position in white society. You see what I'm saying? They gave them that just like they gave the Italians the goddamn fire department. You see what I'm saying? They just want to keep them at bay. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep them at bay because they didn't want America becoming Ireland, an extension of Ireland. They didn't want it to become an extension of Italy. They didn't want it to become an extension of Russia. They didn't want it to become an extension of Bosnia or any of them goddamn places because you got poor Bosnians in America right now which are going to do the same goddamn thing if the Lord delays his coming. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to move up in society. Next thing you know, your lawyer that you have to go to will be Bosnian. You see what I'm saying? He'll be a Bosnian. When 20 years before, they were just placed here in America, big noses and dirty and all of that, and couldn't even, speak English and all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, he's a lawyer. He's your legal aid. You see what I'm saying? He's the man you got to go to for certain, you know what I'm saying, specific things. You see what I'm saying? He's that man. Go ahead.
Question: is the influx of those people was it directly related to the Berlin Wall, the Berlin with the collapse of the
Berlin is like Germany, ain't it?
Yeah, I thought all that, a lot of things happened with that incident.
No, those are different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like Italy, you talk about Italy and Ireland and all of that, the collapse of the Berlin. No,
this thing about the Bosnian, like you're talking about the Bosnian people.
I don't know. I don't think it has nothing to do with the Berlin Wall. What I believe it has to do with is, America is just being the home of the free, where everybody and they're white people.
Yeah.
Notice nobody looks at them when it comes to immigration.
True.
You see what I'm saying? They don't say let's deport all the Bosnians. They put all the camera on the Mexicans. You see what I'm saying? All the South Americans, the Haitians, the Jamaicans of the Caribbean islands, they put it on the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
While they get everybody else inside here. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They shut one door on you and open the door for other people. The sneak door and say, come on in. You see what I'm saying, boy?
They also give those people grants and money to survive.
Not only to survive, but to thrive.
To thrive, yeah.
That's what they give them that money for, to thrive. And to beat us into rubble, because when it all comes down to it, we are the direct enemy.
That's right.
Of them. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they make sure that they oppress us. But let's get back to the read. Let's go back into Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18.
Start from the top.
Yeah, go ahead. You take it from the top.
Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by their pose.
Look at this. This is how you decide. This is the pedigree of your fathers. The DNA testing is garbage. How's it go? It's linking you to a country. You know what I'm saying? And inside that country, people just hit and miss on where they think they come from. But those people that they talking about have not a damn thing to do with them. I'm part of the Isupk tribe. Oh, really? It's funny because you don't even look a goddamn thing like them. Not only that, but your spirit is different from theirs. They running and hopping and clicking and shit, and you ain't doing none of that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
You know, you go over there, they're going to treat you as someone totally different from them, right? And if you don't have nothing to give to them, they're going to boot you out, but they will embrace each other. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is niggas love to do too. They love to say, well, the white man divided us all up to where our own African brothers don't even accept us. It's funny because they accept each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you see Africans here in America, the Ethiopians are with the Ethiopians, right?
Yeah.
The Somalians are with the Somalians. They're not discriminating against each other. They're discriminating against your black ass.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're not discriminating against each other. They can be here for 20 years and they'll see another man come from Somalia. They don't even speak the language no more. If they don't even speak the language no more, they'll see another man from Somalia come from the damn dirt hut of Somalia, right? And they'll embrace him. They don't even speak the same goddamn language he do. You see what I'm saying? They'll make sure whatever business he can eat, he has a place to stay. He's not going to be out the goddamn street homeless. He don't even speak the same language as them no more because they start to become slightly Americanized.
Right.
They run around with skinny jeans and little long shoes and little pink sweaters and all that. They gonna embrace him. And he is like the primitive version of what the hell they used to be. He run around some sandals with crusty, hard, thick concrete crust on his goddamn feet. You know what I'm saying? He run around with some sandals on and some little bitty shorts. You know what I'm saying? Skinny as hell. You know what I'm saying? Big ass bubble head with curly hair and big eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't speak a lick of English. That skinny jean wearing Somalian, you know what I'm saying? With the pink sweater on is going to embrace him as that's my people. You see what I'm saying?
With the tracksuit on and the flip-flops.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He's going to embrace him and say, that's my people.
Oh, shit.
And he's going to link him up to somebody that got a business or whatever, to where that man can go and eat, he can have shelter, he can, this and that. He don't speak a single lick of English, and that skinny jean wearing Somalian don't speak a goddamn lick of Somalian. They going to communicate. You see what I'm saying? For all you niggas and you Wakanda niggas that run around thinking that you goddamn African and all of that, African, you'll see, and then and all you niggas that sit there and say, well, no, see, that is because, because we, the white man divided us all. See, we don't speak the same language. Or that Somalian don't speak the same goddamn language as the dude that just got over here.
Right.
They don't speak the same language. He recognized. He run around with a goddamn, the Somalian run around with a goddamn DC Bay trying to act like a black dude. You know what I'm saying? But he see one of his own. From his own country, right? That ain't nothing like him. He gonna embrace him.
Right.
They ain't even speaking the same language. You see what I'm saying? Right. They are not speaking the same language. They're not dressing the same. He's looking at him like he's a few notches back on the evolution of man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's how the skinny jean wearing Somalian is looking at him. But at the same time, he realized this is my people. This is where I come from. That's my goddamn roots. Right. He understand that. You see what I'm saying? And he gonna embrace that man. And he gonna hook that man up to some other Somalian people to where he can be taken care of. You see what I'm saying? that man will not end up in the goddamn streets. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. He
will not end up homeless in the streets on K2 and stuff like that. He will not end up like that. You see what I'm saying? Okay. He's going to be taken care of, and you'll see him a year later, and he'll be working in some store. All cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? Working in some store, looking at you like you ain't shit. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's how this thing works. So, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we supposed to have the same damn mindset towards each other aggressively. You see what I'm saying? We see the Mexican dude or the other brother from Haiti or whatever the hell, we automatically supposed to goddamn embrace them. You see what I'm saying? We supposed to have a level of embracement towards them as our people. Whether they want to come into the truth or not, okay, that's a whole nother plateau right there. You see what I'm saying? But we ain't supposed to look at them as like they just came from goddamn Mars. You see what I'm saying?
Come.
And with that being said, we are the Isupk coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, at the Commanding General Hana. Pay your tithes, give offerings, give alms into the priests of the Lord, because we the ones that are out there fighting for you. We the ones that are out there on the goddamn battlefield fighting, making sure that you can be separate from the people that are predatorizing against you and want to tear your nation apart right along with your damn family. And with that being said, shalom.
Shalom.